Hey guys, I hope all of you are doing fine. And in today's class, we are going to understand distillation and volatility, right? Distillation and just let's try to understand distillation first. Then we will understand what volatility is, right? What is distillation, right? This video is also there in my previous lectures, I think 4 years back, if I'm not mistaken, where I've tried my best to make show you understand some basic things about distillation. But let's try to understand it again, because when you will make the fragrance, that is, for example, cool water style fragrance, you will understand the importance of these things. Okay, where is that understanding coming? Where is that understanding of what this material or antiol or Schiff's base is the same thing nearly. It's actually, you can say, a kind of a branded variation of the same Schiff's base or antiol. What does that material do? So when we are talking about the first class, second class, and today's third class, when we will apply these materials together, you will know how that understanding came. That's the reason why today's class is very important. Okay. And it doesn't matter, even if you attend my physical courses, I will explain the same thing again and again, again and again. But please make sure you try to understand what I'm saying. So what is distillation unit? Right? How do we distill oil, for example? These days, a lot of wars and all these things, heaven forbid. So what is distillation and all these things? I shouldn't have spoken about the war. Please do accept my apology, right? So anyway, what does oil? For example, there is crude oil. Okay, crude oil. From the same crude oil, we are distilling, or we are taking out different volatilities. From the same crude oil, we are able to extract petrol. What else? Diesel, kerosene, from the same crude oil. Isn't it? Many other petroleum products. Other petroleum products. On the top you will find natural gas. Right? From the same crude oil. Volatile, more volatile, with different structures. But finally, there is only natural gas. Natural gas, which we use in our heaters, in the cooking cylinders, the classic cooking cylinders. These days we've got induction and other things. So cooking cylinders are all on this natural gas. Right. And everything is technically from the same crude oil. It's actually a variation of the same crude oil. Am I making any sense? So now, I'm so sorry, this is the way I work. So we have this, I don't know, it costed us over $4,000 or something. This glass panel in which I'm explaining about my gear and setup for a minute. So I bought this setup in which there is a glass thing and the camera can be placed outside. And if I can stand at the back of it and start writing, it will appear like very transparent to you, like it's on your screen. But the problem is, our lighting setup was not working with it. Okay. So we have to change our lighting so that way we can make it look much more in a different way to make the things on the board appear more clearer to you. We can try those things, but at the end of the day, please try to understand what I'm teaching on this board and a pen is more than enough for you, because by the end of this course, you will be able to make cool water and sport kind of fragrances on your own. Okay, that's what the objective of these courses are, right? So, where did we leave? Distillation. From the same crude oil, we are taking different volatilities till we distill the natural gas, till we get the natural gas from the same crude oil. Now, if we are doing this kind of distillation with flowers, right? Flowers, take geranium. We are doing the same thing, exactly the same thing, right? Absolutely the same thing. We will get first are the things which are called as what we understand in perfumery. This is very important for you to understand. Okay, very important for you to understand. So, we will get the first and the heavier molecules are called as sesquiterpenes. That's it. We will not talk about chemistry anymore for people who are very strange with chemistry. Today is the only day we will talk about chemistry. Otherwise, the whole thing is based on your creativity and the way to proceed. That's it. So, if we are taking geranium, first thing you will get in general, anything you are distilling, first will be the sesquiterpenes. That is the heavier molecule. Then you will get, usually, it is getting volatile, more volatile, till you get monoterpenes. Mono are the lightest molecules, right? The lightest, right? Limonene, monoterpene, volatile things, lighter molecules. How? In the same way, from technically the same crude oil, we were able to get so many things, more volatilities, more reactions, more variations, more volatilities, till we get the actually gaseous material of the same crude oil. In the same way, if we are taking flowers, you will get the heaviest molecules. Those are called as sesquiterpenes. Okay. So what else? Usually in the middle you will find alcohols. Alcohols. The alcohol of geranium, geraniol. Where is the rocket science in this? OL, in chemistry, OL is the suffix for alcohol. Okay. Al is the suffix for aldehyde. Ne can be suffix of a terpene, isn't it? These are suffixes. So the lighter the molecule, from the heavier molecules, we are going towards the lighter molecules and more lighter. Lightest will be the top monoterpenes. Isn't it? Where is the rocket science in this? What if we take, let's take another classic example. What if we take cloves? Clove or eugenia? Eugenia. Cloves. Eugenia. Then you will get eugenol. right? More monoterpenes. So, technically, cloves, there is a very important material called as caryophyllene. Okay. If later I teach you how to make things like tobacco vanille and those kind of fragrances, then remember this material. Don't play with this, because unless you know what this material does, you will not be able to enjoy it. Okay. So remember this material, caryophyllene is called as. You need to do some basic partitioning when you're playing with these materials. So don't play with these unless I tell you how to. So hopefully if we take something like a tobacco vanille kind of those dark fragrances, we will talk about this material. Anyway, so sesquiterpenes are basically heavier molecules, and the lighter molecules and the lightest molecule, monoterpenes. So if we are taking eugenia, what will we get here? Instead of geraniol, eugenol, right? In the same way, what if I put some other material? Lavender, maybe lavandulol, isn't it? Anything. Now, in the 21st century, we are able to understand these things so easily that we have made many versions of these sesquiterpenes, many versions of these alcohols, many versions of these monoterpenes. Are you understanding? What our forefathers did, first they took citruses and then they took some sticky materials. Please try to understand this. To understand our formulas. Okay. Selling the formulas, I don't do those things. I just want you to learn how it's done. Right? So what our forefathers did, they took the citruses and combined them with some sticky materials. Right? Like sticky material like a benzoin. Okay. They understood 1 drop of benzoin and I don't know 100 drops of citrus materials. 1 drop of benzoin is enough to stick 100 drops of citrus materials. They understood this very well. And most of the classic fragrances, and even till today, the same concept. This is your triangle of notes. Heavier molecules, lighter, the lightest, top note. Am I making any sense? So, today in the 21st century, you will get hundreds of materials, because those materials eventually in chemistry in the 21st century, we knew how to separate molecules. We knew how to separate molecules. So if we are putting rose here, we are going to get rose sesquiterpenes, rose alcohols, phenylethyl alcohol. If you are a perfumer, you should know what phenylethyl alcohol is. Phenylethyl alcohol, right? Monoterpenes, right? Monoterpenes, the lightest materials. Okay. Now, when we did further reactions, please, this is very important for you to understand. We understood if we are taking rose, we are going to get 3 kind of things. This is nothing but your triangle of notes. Please do excuse my painting skills. The most important thing for you to understand, we did not even just separate the molecules, we reacted it further with things which are called as acetic acid. and salicylic acid, right? We are so curious people, right? Human beings. What our forefathers did, they just took some gummy things from trees and they started mixing citruses. They did their own trials, you know. But today in the 21st century, we had so many materials, more than 4,000 materials are used in modern perfumery today, right? Isn't it? So, we, in those our experiments of removing sesquiterpenes, alcohols, monoterpenes, or whatever, we also started reacting them with other very basic materials like acetic acid, salicylic acid. These can be commonly found in our house. Vinegar, and all these things. These are the same families. So with acetic acid, we get acetates. That is more than enough for you to learn and forget about chemistry, today's class, unless you're going to do something very special. If you understand till